What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It looks like we have Iceman's update, and it is now live. Sliding over to the forums, we have an August sneak peek number 7, and then it says, "Greetings, agents. This is CM Fragment of Marvel Future Fight. Additional Inhumans and mutant superheroes have gathered for the central conflict of the August update. Let's welcome the second hero, bringing his new power, his new uniform to the Marvel Future Fight. Iceman, behold his new icy powers." So we'll do a deep dive into essentially where this Iceman uniform comes from. The comic run X-Men Blue is rather unique because it takes place in the present time, but it is a time-displaced Iceman. Well, it's really a time-displaced. The whole X-Men team is an older generation. We have a young Beast, we have a young Jean Grey, we have a young Iceman in this case, so a young Cyclops. So things are a little wonky in that they're present day and they're actually run by Magneto. But as we can tell here, here he is side by side with the actual original Iceman and current present time older Iceman. It's weird because this Iceman is the one that we're featuring in this costume, in this uniform, is not as powered as the original Iceman. He hasn't had his second mutation yet. He is impressed by current Iceman's, or original Iceman's, ability to cast ice golems. So a lot of the skill set that we see in his uniform kit, he actually doesn't have those powers in the comic. He's able to slide around. He's a little bit more slick. He's a little bit more childlike, but he actually isn't as powerful as the original Iceman is in the comic book run. So it kind of makes it a little kind of a weird place to put the character in. So we have to kind of see what his power level will actually be in the game. It should be, as all uniforms are, better than his original uniform that he came in with. But is he going to be the Omega level a mutant? If we are going by the guidelines that they had expressed in wanting to be in line with the comics, then he shouldn't be, because this Iceman, this Bobby Drake, is not as powerful as his original Bobby Drake. This one, as we previously stated, is a man out of time. In the buildup of this Beast, not this Beast, but the original Beast, actually traveled back in time, brought these X-Men to present day because in another conflict. But this comic book series is divided into two separate teams. Actually, there's a third team now, but the two separate teams are Blue and Gold. We suspect that the Gold team will actually feature the T3 Storm that we're potentially getting. Last video for Ms. Marvel, Miss Kamala Khan, I had kind of said that I thought the characters were going to be released one by one, and it looks like that's going to be the case this time around, because here we have Iceman, and last week we got Kamala Khan, and there's no Storm in this update. There's no sign of her. The data mine shows that she's available, that she's been reworked from top to down. She has a new 6th skill, which would mean that she's probably going to get an Awakening or a T3, but there's no indication of that character here at all, and the update is now live. But we don't have her yet, so I'm thinking that this is probably, we're gonna have to wait another week before Storm actually shows up. But let's take a look at the sneak peek here and see what we've got in terms of the details. Over on Twitter, nothing special, just a little bit more of a side note. Iceman Bobby Drake slides into Marvel Future Fights, and now they're calling it 635. There's a little small bit of a sneak peek here, which I will kind of point out to see, but let's take a look at the video here. So let's break this video down one by one here. In this opening click, some of these eagle-eyed members of our community have spotted a little bit of lightning here. It means a storm is coming, if you will. A snowstorm is coming. So that might be, you know, very, very meta sneak peek inside of another sneak peek with storm potentially coming away. This looks like it's X-Mansion, probably from the Epic Quest. You can kind of tell it's the same layout. But this is the character model in game as he compares to the comic book version. It's pretty accurate. I would say it's pretty accurate in terms of what he looks like. I love shout outs to the sneak peek team because this card sets blue. Obviously it's X-Men blue, but the other team is also X-Men red or X-Men gold. The new team is X-Men red. But they took the theme from Miss Kamala Khan from the 90s and brought it back as well. So that's kind of cool because this comic run is actually a shout out to the 90s team. We didn't get a full paperwork display just like we did for Miss Kamala Khan, but we'll have to take a look at that. In terms of uniform options, these options are, I would say, probably better than Kamala Khan's options because both Iron Man's Endgame uniform and Sharon Rogers' uniform is top tier. These two are the best uniforms for these two characters. What's nice is that this uniform and this uniform are both synergies for the better ones, even though they are the weaker versions of the uniforms, but they are synergistic. So if you happen to pick those up, if you already have the better uniform, those are a nice discount. This is the best Magic uniform, but whether or not the character is farmable, that's or free-to-play friendly, that becomes the kind of the crux here. Magic is not free-to-play friendly, so that makes it a little bit harder to obtain the max potential for this uniform itself. This screenshot is a little bit misleading because the 6 seconds of invincibility and the 25 attack, defense, and crit rate was already on the character before. Ice clones, that's new, obviously. Freeze and stun debuffs, I mean, he did some of that before, but some of it is new this time around. Pulling a little further into the video itself, we have a couple of details about his attacks as well as what's being changed. It looks like 1, 4, and 5 are the stats that they're going to be doing special attacks when the clones are out, as opposed to just the basic attack. So when you have the summons cat brought out and you activate skill 1, 4, or 5, Bobby is going to do something different, and the clones will also do something different than their basic attack. So that's kind of cool. Nice little tidbit here that skill 1 is the escape, the emergency eject button. So it's nice to kind of get out of the way with that skill. It's the one where he runs up in the air, which is kind of cool. I love that they featured Dazzler. They are doing this on stage 50, full breath of strikers and a defense down striker. Seems like they know that Bobby doesn't heal well in this uniform or have defense down, so they're kind of denoting that. But they are, 15 seconds in, they're on stage 12 against Ebony Maw. Maybe he's got some power to him. This is actually featuring squad battle, which is kind of cool because they want to call out the fact that he's a great wave clearer, which is obviously what you want to do for squad battle. But if I remember correctly, there isn't a day where it's male blast mutant. Correct me if I'm wrong. Check that out and let me know if it's wrong, but here they are in round 2 and he's at 500,000, so that's pretty good. I just don't know if there's a better character for specific days where you would actually use him. So hopefully the dev team is working on some new restrictions for that, because that'd be kind of cool. So now they have projected rotation. Summon the clones, gains damage immunity for the time being. and then follow with the 4th skill to buff everything, and then the 5 skill for the massive damage. Then we have this little clip going right into that update. So that's pretty solid. Let's flip over to the in-game and see what we get there. Okay, so here we are in-game. Looks like we've, like I said, the update is live. They went ahead and discounted the uniform itself. In terms of, like, I don't have either Iceman, or obviously won't have his uniform in game here on my free-to-play account, simply because though he was a good entry and a Crystal Wall character, he just didn't stand out. We had so many blast characters. I think at the time we had just released Cyclops' tier 3 or something along those lines. So I didn't really see a need for him right off the bat. So I kind of held off. I had other things to save up crystals for, so I didn't pick him up. But from all accounts, he was relatively top tier, though not meta. So it's the question of, did you need another blast character? I, at that time, decided that I didn't. But we can kind of go through what we've got going on here to see if it is a bump on his update. The activation rate on the free skill would then bring a crit damage increased by 45%, which is huge, and a 35% on all attack. That compared to, say, Kamala Khan's, which is a just a standard buff on the character. It's kind of tough. Yes, it's all free skills, so maybe it's just almost always activated, but there is then that potential for a small gap where there isn't as much power. So maybe they put this in so he wasn't as OP. It looks like 3 skill changes, 1, 2, and 3. Again, nothing real special. We're kind of missing the defense down here. We're missing the accumulation. There's no heal this time around. One of the major complaints about Iceman before is it's more of a glass cannon. So he would do a ton of damage, which is great, but as soon as he got touched, he kind of fell apart. So I don't know if I'm going to be picking out this time around. We'll have to kind of wait and see. For me, it's obviously 1,000 crystals for 1,050 for their uniform, and then beyond that, in the crystal shop itself, he would then be the, oh, it looks like he is discounted. He would then be the 1,750 if we bought it at this time. Yeah, it's running for 2 weeks, which is great, but I don't know if I'm going to do it. I'm going to actually wait for a little more content from some other folks to kind of come out before I make my decision. But you know, let's take a look at the forums, because I believe that I wonder if they have some posts about it being discounted. So I was able to find this post, the Iceman Blue Uniform Celebration event. CM Fragments, again, with Marvel Future Fight, the mutants have strengthened their X-Gene abilities to fight against the Inhumans. The time has come for Iceman to freeze the battlefield. Challenge yourself through the new events, and we have prepared while using the new Iceman Blue uniform. So let's take a look. So 40% off as per typical. Instead of the $17.50, we have the $10.50 for the uniform cost. Let's see. Uniform option 15% on both stats. Then we saw that. So, oh, they do have the graphic. I love these little graphics. Done really, really well. But nothing that we're not seeing in game. Same stuff here. No healing, no defensive down, no accumulation. So that's kind of tough. They did put these uniforms on discount, which is great. So I wonder if this is, I'm sure Captain Marvel and Lady Deadpool will be, like I said, synergy disc uniforms. So if you already have the originals, it's nice to kind of bring this one in. Sharon Rogers, Star Knight Armor, and Iron Man Endgame are the top uniforms for these two characters. Magix is not a full rework, but I mean, she does have the Phoenix 5 ability, which is great for Shadowland, so she has some utility there. Looks like there's going to be a 7-day check-in event. Oh, that's interesting. They put in some base blast enhancement kits, which is kind of fun. Some mutant materials, which is always good. Looks like, yes, they are going to put the discount just the same as we saw it in game. So package 1 will be $17.50. The second package will be $8.75. So if you're buying biometrics for his uniform, it would come in at 875, so that's always nice. Looks like there's going to be a gold mission. That's good. It's always nice when they put the gold mission or some type of mission along with the same with updates, so that's nice to have. Looks like they'll go the vibranium chest and then a character ranking event. Makes sense. So for the most part, a lot of what we expected from this Iceman. Like I said, I will be waiting, but let me know in the comments if you guys are going to be buying this Iceman. Are you a huge fan of him in the comics? I am, but what's it say when I'm a huge fan of him in the comics and then don't buy his uniform? Probably means that the character's not strong enough yet. So we'll have to see. We'll see what this uniform does for him. I also wanted to make note of another thing that happened in game. It was the content connectivity era. So this actually caused a few players to miss out on tokens. So we'll see if that gets addressed in some way in human tokens, if it gets addressed in some way or another. Looks like folks weren't able to get into co-op or World Boss Invasion, which is the more specific thing. World Boss Invasion is a requirement of the Inhuman event. You were supposed to complete it in order to earn 10. So I think some folks might have missed out on that because it was down for quite a while, and only got fixed until very, very late in the evening. This, for me, Central Time would have been 8:13 p.m. So not everybody's sitting there playing all day, so I'm sure some folks might have missed out on that entirely. So they also said, please make sure to partake in the event before the event quest reset time, which was obviously this morning. So, and as for compensation, they gave us a piddly 100 energy, and that doesn't really do a whole lot. So we'll see what they do to address the community as a whole for this. Kind of sucks. I think a lot of people are going to miss out on their mega rank up ticket if they don't push some additional tokens for us. So we'll see what happens. Otherwise, let me know in the comments. Thanks again for all your comments, your likes, subscribes, checking me out on Twitch as well. That's always greatly appreciated. Until next time, be well, stay safe, and I will see you soon.